Dr. Rakesh Goel is our chapter head in Mumbai, and he is a very prominent follower of Information Technology Act for a very long time. And he has written several books on Information Technology Act, and so we are very happy to have him discuss this complex subject of digital signatures. Okay, it is over to you, Rakesh. If you want to say anything more about yourself, you are welcome.
It will come in a slide.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Jai Ganesh. Today's topic is regarding digital signatures and e-sign. Although it is not directly related to privacy, but anything can be linked to privacy in India, anywhere. So, lot of
signature is a PII, sir.
Pardon?
Signature is an item of the PII.
So anything can be linked to this PII anywhere in India.
So obviously, e-sign or digital signature is one of the component of PII.
Okay. So my topic is digital signature and e-sign. What is digital signature and what is e-sign, and how to use it, and how not to get carried away, or how not to get frauded by the digital signature. There is a lot of misconception. What is digital signature? What it can do? Why to buy? Why not to get free? What is e-sign? So I just want to discuss those things. And
you please forget that the people who are joining, I will manage that.
Okay. If you manage, fine.
I will manage that. You just keep looking at chats. This thing.
Okay. Otherwise, that was going on.
No, don't get disturbed.
Also request others to keep on mute.
Please, everyone will keep on mute. That will be much better. Okay. Why I am qualified? What Navi was saying, I said, let me tell you. I have done pre-operative and annual audits for 5 CA. First was done in 2002 for IDRBT CA, which is for banking industry. And one more in private sector is proposed, which is pending due to COVID. Apart from that, I have done PKI implementation in fuel dispenser units for 3 companies. There are only 3 companies, all the 3, because no one is there in India who can do that thing. And fuel dispensing is where you get the petrol. And there are a lot of frauds happening in that fuel dispensing.
Shivangi has just put a mail on all this. Then I have also marked. So good that it is happening. We are doing a mock test for day after tomorrow, Friday. Very good.
Okay, Samir, over. Then I have done this PKI for crypto devices, for special devices in IT, and some special strategic projects which I cannot discuss. I have done more than 100 audits for ASP onboarding and AUA. They are also related to PKI. And I was a convener of Audit Standards Committee for CCA in 2002 when CCA started, and then how to do audits. So I was that convener. My company is empaneled with CERT-In and CCA. That means both. I am C2C. That means chairman to Chowkidar of a cyber security firm which was established in 1985. I am in cyber security since 91 and 100% in cyber security in 2004. I have done more than 4,200 assignments since 91. Written 6 books and 50 papers. This is a book regarding digital signatures, which was written in 2005. And after that, I have not got it printed because nobody buys this thing. I was member of few committees of Ministry of IT, Government of India. I have done PhD in cyber security. I am a gold medalist in engineering and gold medalist in PGDM from IIM Bangalore in 1982. I have done CISA with 96 percentile in 97. I am CISM, CFP, CCI, CNC, and I have done more than 150 software between 85 and 2004 with complete documentation. And I have computerized 950 bank branches between 1985 and 199. So it's not that only security. I was very heavily in software and implementation of software. This is my normal slide. If you are serious in the session, in fact, everyone in this session is serious. You have to keep mobile in silent mode. If you ask a question, ask to me. It is in the hall. If you want to go out frequently, sit near the gate. For eating, smoking is not allowed. Now, what is the agenda today? Agenda is what is paper world, then electronic and digital world, then how to create trust in digital world, legal admissibility, then I'll show you systematic diagram for DSC and eSign, and what is the comparison between eSign and DSC, eKYC provider, and live demos of various things. What is digital signature? It is not digitized signature which you put on the paper. You just scan and put on the paper. It is not. I'll show you one or two examples for that. This signature which you see here is not digital signature. It is digitized, put it there. It has no value because I can copy any digital, any signature anywhere, cut, paste and put it there. But it is just to put, it goes in my reports or in my proposals, because just so that many people are old timers, they want to see this physical signature. So I put it along with digital signature. And you are familiar with all these signatures? Can you know who, can you tell me who is that? Can somebody tell me?
Narendra Modi.
Are a good one. And this one? This one? This one, Donald Trump. This is Donald Trump, and this is Putin, and this is my good friend Kim Jong-un. Okay. Anyhow, so I just copied from Google and just put it just to show you that digitized signature is not digital signature. Digital signature is a string of bits called key, which is used to sign a digital document using a predefined encryption algorithm, and it looks like that. If you see the key, it looks like that. This is 1048 size key. Now let's go to the paper world, which we are all familiar. All the agreements, all the proposals, all the letters, all the legal documents are prepared on the paper. Even today, Supreme Court, High Court, lower court, judges, magistrates, everyone wants paper. In the paper, you have got 4 parts. First is a carrier, which is sheet of paper, then text and pictures, which is representation of information, then information about the originator, which about the sender. That means your letterhead, your name, etc., so that the person who is receiving can identify from where it is coming, and measures to verify or the authenticity. That means the paper is authentic. How it is authentic? Either you put your written signature or thumb impression. Any other method I don't know, because if person has no both hands, then he cannot write signature or put thumb impression. I don't know. So I'm still searching the maybe advocates may know better. So, but anyhow, that's apart. So how to verify the authenticity? By having a written signature, and it cannot be scanned signature. It has to be put by the pen, ink, not even pencil. Pencil can be rubbed. All the 4 components are physically connected, so paper is the document. This is the paper world. And there is only one original, or sometimes 2 originals if agreements, 2 agreements are 2 copies of agreement are signed, and can be reproduced in innumerable copies. Why I am writing? Because this will be used when I am going to digital part. Signature, whether including LTI, RTI, the left thumb impression or right thumb impression, whatever it is supposed to be unique, difficult to reproduce, not changeable, and not reusable. That is the property. Although fraudsters, Natwarlals are there who can sign anyone's signature, but that is a fraud. Its main function is identification, declaration that yes, I own it, and proof. That is the main function of signature. Why I am writing? Because even digital signature, I connect these things. The signature is used to identify a person, to associate the person with the content of that document. So that means I am owning that what I have written is written by me. I am identifying as a person and associating that this is my content, I own it. Always related to a physical person. You cannot relate to a dead person. In all legal systems, signature means, again signature continues, absence of a prescription of a exclusive modality of signature. Means there is no specific way that you should sign that way only. You can write full name, you can write initials, you can write nickname, you can write any symbol, you can write real name, whatever it is. You can write pseudonym. You can draw a picture also. There was a time when I used to draw a picture using my name. That was long back when I was working with BHL in 1972. So I used to draw, I used to enjoy that thing. So it's a token of will and responsibility, and contractors have right to rule their own contractual relationship, defining also the way each one can sign the agreement. This I have taken from some legal documents. And from a legal point of view, nothing against introduction of a new type of technology of signatures. In fact, after IT Act 2000, it is legal to have digital signature or electronic signature or e-sign as a legal way to use signature technological means. And digital signature is a new technology. I will discuss that thing also partly, not in detail. Now let's come from paper to the electronic or digital world. Electronic documents are produced by a computer. You cannot produce on paper, you cannot produce on thin air. You have to create electronic document by a computer. It can be voice, it can be numbers, it can be ASCII, it can be video, whatever it is. They are all electronic documents. They are stored in digital form and cannot be perceived without using a computer. So that is the difference between paper document and electronic document. That electronic document or digital document, both are interchangeable for our purpose, can be deleted, can be modified, can be rewritten without leaving a single mark. In paper document, you cannot do. In digital document, you can do. This I have faced when I used to computerize banks. In banks, the ledgers, you just can't do anything. In electronic thing, initially people used to change the balances also. And there was no law. But later on, all those security was inbuilt into it. Integrity of electronic document is generally impossible to verify. A copy is indistinguishable from the original. It is same. You make 10 copies, all are same. You cannot say which is the original, which is the copy. All are same. So it is not in a IPC called section 377, 378 theft that something which is original is moved. In electronics, nothing is original which can be moved. It is copied. So copy is as original as copy. It cannot be sealed in the traditional way where the auditor or where the author fixes his or her signature. So it is not a traditional way. As I will show you, either you fix a digitized signature or you fix a digital signature. Then the function to identify, declare and prove, as we have seen in the physical document, of electronic document carried out by using a digital signature based on cryptography. That is the only way today to identification of the person, declaration by a person that I own it, and proof of the person in the electronic document only by using digital signature based on cryptographic algorithm, which are defined cryptographic algorithms. Digital signatures created and verified using cryptography. Cryptography is basically to convert normal ABCD into some codes which you cannot read. You have to decrypt them using a different algorithm or different way. Coding, decoding. And public key system based on the asymmetric key. So this is a PKI, public key infrastructure, PK system, public key system, and there are two type of keys: symmetric key, that means same key you are using to code, and same key you are using to decode. Okay. So in public key system PKI, it is not the same key; it is asymmetric key. That means there is one key which is used to sign the document, and another key is used to read the document or to make sure that this document is signed by the previous key. And An algorithm generates two different but mathematically related keys. It cannot be that you have one key and anything else you use it. So they are related, like brother system, husband wife. If you're signing with one key, you are reading with another key. If you are signing with private key, you read with public key. You are signing with public key, you read with private key. Normally, private key is used to sign digitally, and public key used to verify. Why it is called private key and public key? Private key is kept with me, and public key I distribute to everyone. Anyone who want to use can use it. Now, same thing, private key is kept secure with the owner in the crypto device. This is a crypto device. This is nothing but a USB connect. I can connect to a USB, and this is a token, also called token. My private key and digital signature sits inside this. Not only mine, even the CAs and CCAs sits in a box called HSM, Hardware Security Module, which costs in lakhs of rupees, maybe half a crore. Allows parties, the relying parties who rely on my signature, to have free access to the signer's public key. So my public key, normally either it is embedded into the document or it is available easily. This assures that public key corresponded to the signature's private key, and it creates trust between the parties if we don't know each other. I send documents. I send at least 3 to 4 to 5 documents digitally signed every day, whether it is a proposal, whether it is a bill, whether it is a report. At least 3-4 documents I sign every day. And many times the proposal is sent, I don't know the party. In our business, 80% of the parties I never met. They just send a query or inquiry using an email. I ask any question if it is there. I create a proposal, digitally sign and send them. And they trust it is coming from Sysman Computer because it bears my digital signature, which is legal, admissible under section 345 of IT Act. This I write very clearly there. Parties with no trading partnership agreement operating on open network need to have highest level of trust among each other, between each other. So this digital signature, this PCI, creates that level of trust that if I have sent a document using a trusted digital signature, using my trusted private key, and they are using my public key, it legally and otherwise it can be relied upon. But I'll come to it later. Why digital signature design? It creates trust in electronic, digital or cyber environment by establishing trust framework. That means digital signature, or it is called PKI. Sometimes we say PKI means somebody is drunk. Not that. PKI means public key infrastructure. Sometimes I throw TJs also, poor jokes. So live with that, enjoy. And e-sign. E-sign is a derivative of digital signature, which I'll discuss what is e-sign. Okay. What you need, what are the elements of trust in the digital environment? Integrity, authenticity, non-reputability, and confidentiality. What is integrity? Integrity is, that means a built-in process to validate that output is equivalent to input. Any alteration of the data can be immediately detected or preventive. What I'm saying integrity means, the document as it was created and it was sent, the integrity of that document is intact. It has not been tempered. It has not been altered. It has not been changed. Nothing is added to that. So integrity of the document is established using digital signature, because I'll show you in the demo that if I change the integrity of the document, what happens to a digital signature. Authenticity. It identifies and verifies that the users are who they say they are. That means if I sign, that means I am saying I am Rakesh Goyal. So it creates that authenticity, trust of authenticity. I cannot say, okay, I am signing as Rakesh Goyal, but I am Navi or Shrikant Ardhapurkar or Minal Maheshwari. I cannot say that thing. So it has digital signature make sure that authenticity of the person who has signed is maintained. Sender and recipient can validate each other's identities. Confidentiality. Secure transmission of information not accessed by authorized individuals using the encryption algorithm. There are two ways to send: clear text and digital signature hash, or even encrypted document. Both ways it can be sent, and it maintains confidentiality and non-reputability. That means sender cannot disown that any information sent at a later time is not it is not me. He cannot disown or she cannot disown. Trustworthy means to ensure ownership on an electronic document, that is digital signature. So if I create all those four things, that means integrity, authenticity, confidentiality, and non-reputability. That means I am creating a trust in the digital environment and digital document. But I give you a digital document which is digitally signed, and that document, integrity of the document is maintained, authenticity of the person is maintained, confidentiality of document is maintained, and the sender cannot say that it is not me. Somebody has made my signature, somebody has copied my signature, it is a fake video, it is a fake, deep fake. No, it is not. If it is digitally signed with my legal digital signature, I cannot disown it. Now how non-repudiability and authenticity is maintained. Digital certificates are used with legally defined due trust chain. There is a trust chain. Yes.
Goyal sir, I have some question. Should I ask at the end or should I ask now? How do you want to do it?
If it is not long, you can ask now. If it is long,
just a very short question.
Go
I
ahead.
just want to know.
Go ahead.
Firstly, how do you share your public key with other people, and how do you ensure that they don't further distribute it to anyone else?
Public key is to be distributed to 7 billion people of the planet, and it is available.
But you don't want everyone to read that document, right?
No, then there is a method in madness to encrypt it also. So there are two ways. Let me tell you. First way is that I sign with my private key and I send you. Anyone who has my public key can read the document. Second way, I sign the document using your public key. Okay, and then I send you. Only you can read with your private key. Nobody has got your private key. So that is one-to-one. And when I am signing with my private key and sending, it is broadcast 1-to-N. So both ways it is possible. And there is one more method, I can encrypt it also. And public key is to be distributed so that anyone who want to trust me, who want to rely on my document, have trust on my document. Otherwise, he cannot make sure that my document is signed by my private key. Because public key and private key are mathematically related. Okay. Now,
so the जिस बंदे को आप public key देते हो, वो further किसी को भी distribute कर सकता है आपकी public key.
It is available on my website. It is I am putting public key on the document itself.
Okay.
So, and if you go to the CCA, CCA means it is the regulator. If you go to any CA, the certifying authority, their public key is available on their websites. So you can download. The public key means for public. And I want my public key to go to 7 or whatever it is, 7.x billion people of the world, whether they have computer or not. Okay. At the top of the level is CCA. It is Controller of Certifying Authorities, CCA. And CCA is created by the Act of Parliament, which is IT Act 2000, Section 1718 creates CCA, who is controller, who is the regulator of digital signature or authentication, which is defined under IT Act. And and at the top is CCA, and CCA has created his digital signature, and his private key is kept in a very secure HSM. HSM is a technology which is called hardware security module. If the price of HSM is somewhere 40 lakhs to 1 crore. So if the key comes out, it has to be deleted only. It cannot come out without distraction. So it cannot be compromised. If that key is compromised, all the process downwards is compromised. So that key has to be highly secured, CCA key. Now second level is called CA, not chartered accountant. It is certifying authority. They are also defined in IT Act. CCA give license to CAs, certifying authorities. There are 15 certifying authorities as of today. They are available on CCA site. I'll show you that thing. So CCA license, CA, after due process, that long process, and robust security compliance. All those things comes in the security compliance. And CS root certificate is signed by CCA. So it is linked upwards with CCA. So CCA creates CA, and CA private key is also in HSM. Now CA issues DSC, digital signatures, after due KYC to physical living persons only. And there is a big process of madness in that. Subscriber, can you please mute it, Rajesh ji? Rajesh Jhaveri, can you please mute it?
ठीक છે હવે એ ટાઈમે હરેકનો એ ટાઈમ હતો કીધા.
Please mute.
Sir, I just want to ask you one thing, sir. Sir, this ENCODE, which is a Gujarat this thing, they are also CCA actually?
They are CA licensed CA.
So they are CA actually, and then they are having their services of providing the private keys to all.
They are providing digital signature, and private key comes in digital signature. I'll show you that thing. Don't worry.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. So
sir, go ahead, sir.
Okay.
We will ask the questions at the end. That will be better. We shall not intervene. Coming on very well.
Sometimes people miss the question. Anyhow, doesn't make a difference. Okay. So after that, CA issues digital signature. After due KYC, and that is a very robust KYC, even video recording of the person is done for minimum 20 seconds, and that is time stamped. So it cannot be tampered, and that hash is deposited with CCA of a physical living person only. It cannot be like sometimes you have heard that Aadhaar is given to Hanumanji or some dog or something like that. That happened initially. Now even Aadhaar is not like that. And subscriber DSC is signed by CA. Private key is stored in the permitted token. This is the token which I have showed you some time back. This goes in USB. This is called token or crypto device or something like that. And my private key and DSC stays inside. And if somebody wants to copy, it is protected by password. And if I misuse the password, it can be copied. Otherwise, it cannot be copied. And DSC is bound to a specific person. Now, this DSC is to me only. It cannot be used to Rajesh Jhaveri or Mr. Kodandraman or Samir or Navi or Meena, not to anyone. It has to be bound to me. I can have n number of digital signatures. From every C I can have, because digital signature needs specific email address and mobile. If I've got 2 mobile and 2 email address from the same C I can have 2. But that means a person can have more than one digital signature. But one digital signature cannot have a more than one person. That means digital signature cannot become Draupadi. how it is legally admissible in India. Digital certificate issued by licensee are legally admissible as section 345 of IT Act 2000, amended in 2000, and rules 2000. Rules of 2000 says, rule number 3, that digital signature is legal, and this CC has defined all those processes, etc. If you want, I can show you that thing.
Sir, is there any classification for the digital signature?
There are 3 types of digital signature. Class 1, class 2, class 3. Class 1 nobody issues. Class 2 is basically general issues, and class 3 is for tenders. But for your income tax requirement, MCA requirement, class 2 is sufficient. Class 3 is digital signature with encryption. If you want to encrypt your data, then class 3 is required. But normally class 2 is applicable on your most of the requirements. Yes. Okay. Then trust chain from CCA to CA to subscriber. PKI technology ensures integrity, sound repeatability, and confidentiality. Robust KYC by CA ensure authenticity. And e-sign notified as electronic signature or electronic authentication technique procedures rules of 2015. E-sign has become legal under rule 18 something, under a section of IT Act 18 something. This rule is created. CCA can create rule, and for e-sign he has created rule in 2015. This is the name of the rule. So this also become legal in 2015. Why it was required? Because a digital signature cost around 1,200 to 2,000 rupees per year, whereas you don't need many times lot of document to sign. Suppose you are signing 5-6 documents in a year. That means if you are paying 1,500, that means each document cost becomes 300 rupees. But if you are go to e-sign cost you 30, 40, 50 rupees. So if not large number of documents have to be signed every year, then it's better to go for e-sign. Otherwise you can go for digital signature. Both are same, both work same way. But what is the difference? I'll come to that. So at that time, what happened? One more thing has happened, that Aadhaar has come with, or UADI has come with Aadhaar, and everyone was connected to Aadhaar. Means Aadhaar now they claim to have 120 crores members in that. Although there are a lot of problems going on, that what happens to the Aadhaar which was initially created and not belong to the right person. What happens to the Aadhaar of the dead person? Those type of questions are still there. But at that time, it was felt why the e-sign is not created, so that anyone can get their signatures done for digital locker, or giving, submitting their documents to the bank or finance companies. So and then authentication by this Aadhaar is done, and their documents are digitally signed. So that was felt at that time. On using Aadhaar, online authentication, digital signatures were created. So there are two processes: one is authentication by Aadhaar, and then digital signatures. And it becomes easier for the end user, because ultimately it is in the name of end user, not in the name of the person in between ASP. It is called ASP. Later on, after 2017, when Supreme Court has given a judgment that Aadhaar is passed, this act was passed as a finance bill, so it is applicable on the things which are related to consolidated funds of India or income tax only. So all those requirements have gone, but recently some changes are there. So now Aadhaar online has also become valid now. Otherwise they have come out with offline also, which I'll discuss slightly later. Now, what is a signature method? How it is done? There is a message here. You can see the cursor now. This is message. and message is it creates a hash, digital signature creates a hash, and hash is signed by the sender's private key. Both together, message and hash. Here message is totally clear text. It is not encrypted. Message and signature are sent using internet to the other receiver. This is sender, this is receiver. Now what at the end of receiver does is verifies. What it does, it creates the hash of the message, same algorithm, and hash of the message, hash of the signature is there. Both hashes are compared. If both hashes are same, that means the document has integrity, it has got authenticity, and it has got non-repeatability. I'm not talking about confidentiality. Okay, so these three are ensured. So this is how the flow or the systematic flow of the digital signature works. Now I'll come to the confidentiality. Now in the same flow, how to make sure that it is become confidential after digital signatures and message is created. I encrypt message and signature using recipient's public key. Here I am signing with my private key so that anyone in the world can read it. But here I am signing with recipients. If I am sending the document from me to Navi, so here I will be signing with Navi's public key, and then it is sending over internet, and then it is decrypted by Navi using his private key. That means only Navi can decrypt it, and then after that same process, the hash is generated and compared. If both things go well, that means the confidentiality is also maintained. That means the document is flowing over internet in the confidential, in the encrypted manner. Although we can say that nothing is 100% secure in the world. Yes, nothing is 100% good, but the probability that it can go wrong is 1 in billion, or maybe more than 1 billion.
So would this be an example of category 3?
Yes. In category 3, you can do that thing. In class 3, you can do that thing.
Okay, class 3, yes.
Now, what is the difference between e-sign and DSC? The technology used in both is PKI and PKI, public key infrastructure. Don't confuse with the Daru ki bottle PKI. Okay, the life of public key, private key or digital signature in DSC, in the token, is 1 year or 2 years, 3 years. CCA doesn't allow more than that. There is a different cost for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And in this e-sign is only 30 minutes. That means the document has to be signed within 30 minutes only, not more than that. The usefulness when you are signing lot of documents, or where you are signing sporadically or once in a while, or whenever it comes. Let's say you want to open an account in the bank, you want to submit your KYC, or you want to submit your, sometimes for pension, your certificate that you are alive. So there you can sign. The cost is 1200 to 2000 per year. Here it is 25 to 30 rupees. You can do your cost benefit analysis in 25 rupees. 20 rupees goes to UIDI and 5 rupees goes to the ESP, the person who is a CA. Authentication is by CA, it takes time, and you have to provide lot of documentation and video recording. Then only your authentication done, and based on that you are issued digital signature. In here, either if Aadhaar online is a instant, you provide your Aadhaar number, it goes there, a OTP comes on or your mobile, you put the OTP on the website or that particular portal, and it is done. Or sometimes it is biometric, you go to the bank, you do biometric, OTP is not required. In Aadhaar offline, you have to register with the ESP, or In other offline, you have to register with ESP. That again takes time, but you can use many number of times, and it is cheaper also because Aadhaar 20 rupees are not charged there. Then who can sign? Here DSC holder can sign directly. Whereas in this case, user has to go to the ASP, the person in between. It can be a bank, it can be a fintech company, it can be digital locker, it can be somebody, service provider, it can be ration shop, and then it goes to ESP. There are, I think, 8 ESPs as of today. Out of 15 CS, only 8 are ESPs. How to sign? Digital token and password. You have to put digital token and you have to give password. Here it is Aadhaar authentication and OTP. Then what you need? You need robust KYC by CA and safe. You have to keep your token very safe, very secure. Sometimes people keep in the lockers also. Although my token is just like on my drawer, but what to do? If I use it 5 times, 6 times a day, 10 times also sometimes, so I cannot go to locker every time. But password is there. And what you need is Aadhaar number and registered mobile. That's all, and that everyone has got. Legal status is legally as per IT Act 2000, section 345 and rule 3. It is legal as per IT Act 2000, rule created in 2015 under section 18J or something like that by CCA. So both are legal.
Sir, I have a question here.
Yes.
Sir, this e-sign, under which class it comes? Like you were saying, it is class 1, class 2, class 3 is what DSCs are. So e-sign comes under what class? Like for example, MCA
it is class 2 only. It is not class 3. It is class 2 only.
So under MCA, can I use these e-signs that is there, or should I still be using only DSCs?
I think MCA is not providing e-sign facility. You have to use DSC, income tax, and GST and MCA, because I'm using all the 3. So I have not come across that they are using for ASP or they are asking for e-sign. No, you have to use this DSC only.
Okay, but there are a lot of documents that I, as a secretarial team, might be creating, because then if it is a class 2 signatures, at least the documents can be e-sign documents, or no?
Yes, you have to e-sign document and upload it.
Okay, fine.
You sign e-sign document and upload it. That's all. That's what MCA needs. That you sign. And if you are in secretarial, then number of documents you may be signing in a year, maybe 500 to 1000. It's not less. Means every month you have to file n number of returns. And previously form 18, form 32, form 2. Now they have got other names, but still I remember those numbers. So if for MCA, for income tax, you have to file every year. For GST, every month you have to file 2-3 returns. So for that GSTR 3B and GSTR 1, you have to file. So for that you have to DSC, but GST even provide with a OTP which is not related to Aadhaar, which is direct. Okay.
Sure.
Now in e-sign, what happened e-sign and how it is different from digital signature. It is also digital signature, but how it is different from? You have a document. It is Aadhaar wala, not non-Aadhaar wala. Aadhaar wala. Okay. It is Aadhaar holder. So document, OTP, and PIN. Biometric. If it is biometric, otherwise OTP PIN is there. Aadhaar holder. It is the person goes to ASP. ASP is application service provider. He is a person in between document or Aadhaar holder or subscriber and ESP who does it. And there is a process to empanel to onboard ASP, and that is also a tough. So, and there is a fees for that. So this person creates e-sign API input, calls the API of ESP. So it takes your document and it creates the hash. Your document doesn't go to ESP, only hash goes to ESP, because ultimately hash has to be signed. Now ESP is nothing but he has to be CA, application service, this e-sign service provider, ESP. First thing he does, he authenticates your Aadhaar. It goes to UAIDI, and UAIDI sends OTP to the Aadhaar holder. That Aadhaar holder put OTP in the portal of ASP, and once it is done, then UIDAI sends yes or no. That means yes, it is authenticated or not. So in place of authentication through any other way, Aadhaar has been defined by Aadhaar Act and CCA notification that Aadhaar authentication is valid. There may be problem with Aadhaar numbers also, because there may be some invalid Rohingyas or some invalid Aadhaar numbers may be there. But that is not, I cannot, that is beyond my preview, and government by the notification has defined that Aadhaar number is a valid source of authentication. Although UIDAI says that we don't guarantee, but government guarantees it. Then once it is authenticated, then the key pair from HSM is generated, and certificate from this is a CA of the ESP. It is signed, sent back to ASP, and ASP again accept the DSP, fix on the document and give it the document to the signer or the provider, or keeps, if it is a bank, keeps with that, so that document is signed. This is the data flow in the e-sign. That means e-sign, this activity, this part of activity is extra. You see this, no? This part of activity is extra. Otherwise, without that, this part of activity is there. You can see the cursor. Yes, I can see my other one. So you can, so this part of the activity is a normal digital signature, but this part of the activity is authentication of the person, because the person is not issued DSP based on authentication by the CA, KYC, video recording. So this is done by UIDAI, right? Now next one is where non-UIDAI. Process is same. Here it is a eKYC service provider. This came after.
Sir, there is a question here. Sir, in the previous slide, when you affix the hash back as a document signature after every process is done, is this affixed as a part of the document? Does it become part of the document, or is it a separate attachment?
It is embedded in the document.
Okay, thank you.
It is embedded. Okay, I'll show you for the DSC how it is embedded. I'll come to the demo now.
Rakesh, you have to watch the time. Okay.
Okay. I'm on the computer. I'm watching time also and seeing. But here, what they have done after 2017 judgment of Supreme Court that Aadhaar is not provided by to be provided to everyone except where DBT, which is affecting the Consolidated Fund of India or income tax. So they have come out that even the ESPs can provide eKYC, and there are 4 types of eKYC: offline Aadhaar, where you take your XML from the Aadhaar and provide to the ESP, and he creates your account. Then PAN-based, organization-based, and bank. So they create banks as their RA, where one person is authenticated as a trusted person, and he can create eKYC for their customers. Same thing for big or any organization. If one person is issued a DSC, trusted person, after due authentication, and that person creates eKYC accounts for others, and that can be used for your authentication of person. So that is what offline eKYC is created after 2017 Supreme Court judgment. Now recently online Aadhaar is again allowed, so nobody is using this thing because this again has got its own dynamics. Now what is eKYC provider? Online Aadhaar using Aadhaar number as and register mobile. Only ESP can be eKYC provider, only licensed CA can be ESP. Offline Aadhaar based, that means register using Aadhaar XML and do KYC. PAN based, register using PAN and do KYC. Bank customer register through bank RA, and organization employee register through organization RA.